You asked me to comment on this case, so I will. Keep in mind, I don't know anything firsthand about the case, and I don't have the case file. All I know is what's been reported. Trigger warning, this one's a little dark. A little over 5 years ago, 2 teenage girls were murdered in Indiana. They were on a hiking trail. The probable cause affidavit said basically with the combination of witness testimony and tool markings on an unfired round at the scene, they were able to develop a suspect. Apparently, the state police executed multiple search warrants on people of interest. Good for them, they were beating the bushes. The first guy is the property owner of where the bodies were found. The FBI agent said that they could not rule him out as the person in the recording. That was recorded on one of the victim's phones, and that's the suspect walking. Multiple witnesses that day say they remember a man walking fitting that description. One said that it looked like he'd been in a fight and was covered in mud and blood. When this first happened, an FBI agent said that fibers and DNA were recovered from the scene. The property owner was eventually ruled out. Apparently, he told some relatives to lie for him about where he was that day. It was because he was on probation for a DUI, which got revoked. He's since passed away. The agent also said one of the bodies may have been posed. The FBI also added that something may have been taken from one of the girls by the killer. Then they examined the girl's phone, and then they found out that they'd been talking to this guy. That guy's also now sitting in jail for explicit images of children. He was catfishing one of the girls and soliciting photos. If that doesn't motivate you to get barked for your kid's phone, I don't know what will. Now we get to this guy. State police said earlier they thought the composites would be a combination for the suspect. He says in an interview he was on the trail that day. They recovered dark-colored Carhartt clothing from his house. They also recovered the firearm that matched the tool markings on the unfired round at the scene. The suspect said he didn't know how it got there. Those are the facts that are in the media. These are my speculations. His defense attorneys are making a big deal about the tool markings. They're saying they're easily refuted, and that it's shaky science. There are some leaked text messages out there. They've not been verified, I'm not going to post them. One of them states one of the bodies was posed, with her hood up and her arms across her chest. One of them states that one of the bodies was nude and covered in leaves and sticks. Both of these indicate remorse to me. None of the witnesses that day say anything about hearing a gunshot, at least in what's been released. The text messages state they were stabbed and one of them fought back. That could be one of the reasons why one of the witnesses said he was covered in mud and blood. As usual, I think the police have a lot more evidence than what they're putting on, including fiber and DNA. They may have found digital evidence on his phone. I suspect they have a mountain of evidence against this guy and they have a good case. I put an early news report on my YouTube. If you like true crime, I also put my podcast over there. It's true crime, but I also add things from a detective's perspective. You can click the easy button to get there. I'm trying to get to 4,000 hours of watch time. If you could just let some videos play, I'd appreciate you.